Welcome to our YouTube channel dedicated to exploring the latest insights and opportunities in the world of finance and investments, with a special focus on currency revaluation, gold and silver investments, cryptocurrency, and make money online opportunities, and more. If you're interested in staying up to date on the latest developments in currency revaluation, particularly the Iraqi dinar and other currencies, best to subscribe to this channel. Please note that the content on this YouTube channel is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We are not licensed financial advisors, and the opinions expressed on this channel are based on our own research and personal experience. We strongly recommend that you do your own research and consult with a licensed financial advisor. Also, just before we go any further, this channel has a weekly giveaway of 100 Dogecoin. To enter, all you have to do is be subscribed to this channel, like this video, and watch this video until the end, because if you don't, you will be automatically disqualified from the giveaway. We will be sharing the random hashtag keyword daily somewhere in the video, and then comment hashtag the keyword with no spaces in between in the comment section. Good luck! Now let's proceed with the latest Iraqi dinar news and intel today. Please take these pieces of information with a grain of salt, and please make sure to do your own due diligence. Before we dive in, I want to thank this community for riding through this journey with me. I know it can feel like the same stories recycled over and over, but what's surfacing now is different. We've got some powerful signals lining up that I think you'll want to pay attention to. In today's intel, you'll hear talk about Iraq finally pulling pieces together that touch everything from unity in their oil sector to building themselves up as a financial hub in the Middle East to surprising signals out of the central bank and even the political pressure mounting on Sudani to deliver before his time runs out. Individually, these might sound like just another headline, but when you look at them together, they tell a very different story. And at the end, I'll share my own analysis of what this all means for the timing of the RVRI and how close I believe we really are. All right, let's get into the updates. From Newshound Intel Guru Mountain Goat article, Oil. Agreement to deliver Kurdistan's oil to SOMO and export it via Ceyhan in accordance with the constitution and budget. We know the IMF kept telling Iraq from the results of their consultation sessions that they had to deliver oil on a steady basis and pay salaries on a steady basis. No more delays due to disputes with Baghdad, that these disputes between Baghdad and Kurdistan must end. Now with this new agreement, it gives them the opportunity to do just what the IMF needs them to do, be a united Iraq. This will change the entire dynamics of Iraq. This will finally get the oil and gas law that is required by the Constitution. Through unity, not division, and Iraq finally picked unity. All I can say now is, woohoo! From Intel Newshound Guru MarkZ a PDK. Comment. Maybe when Sudani is elected out for not making and keeping his promise, the new Prime Minister will finish the deal. From MarkZ, I think he will finish the RV before he's gone. I think this will be our month. I'm feeling quite excited. From Intel Guru Frank 26. Question. Do you think the shutdown of our government has anything to do with the RI? No, I want them to shut it down. What is it that you're shutting down? You're really not technically shutting a government down, per se, when you think about it. No, I don't think it has anything to do with the RI. From Intel Guru Bruce, I'm going to say Thursday is looking good to get notified and then set appointments and get started maybe over the weekend. We'll see what happens Thursday. From Newshound Guru Pimpy. Article, US dollar exchange rate continues to fall in Iraq. A lot of times when people read these articles, they don't understand what they mean. They get them mixed up between which one is falling compared to the other one. When it says US exchange rate is falling, that means the value of the Iraqi dinar is growing against the US dollar. If it says the dinar falls against the US dollar, that's not good. From Newshound Guru Clare article, Iraqi banks between the dollar transfers complex and the dream of a regional financial center, a new vision for the changing Middle East economy. Quote, Iraq possesses a unique geographical location and massive strategic projects. as well as natural and human resources that could transform it into a regional financial center if exploited wisely. The answer, it seems, cannot be delayed. Today's Middle East does not wait for the hesitant, and if Iraq does not race against time to reform its banking sector, it may find itself excluded from the map of the new Middle East. From Newshound Intel Guru FNU LNU, I am in the do not believe camp. I have been involved in and have relationships with the earliest pioneers of this dinar speculation. New York international attorneys, Oki Oilman, Patricia Fernandez, and many others. I was at a cocktail party in Reno by invitation only. I was told by one of the attorneys that 10 locations nationwide had been identified with a higher than average number of investors. It is estimated U.S.-based currency firms have had as many as 900,000 customers purchasing dinars and could well be into the millions. In a nation of 370-plus million people, the number per thousand is not very high. The hyped-up notion that the banks will be overrun with crazed exchange customers is false. There are approximately 4,462 banks in the United States. The total number of bank branches across the nation is around 77,796. There are clusters where IQD ownership is higher than average. Therefore, there will be 10 regional satellite bank locations dedicated to the exchange of dinar. They will be electronically patched into the bank's intranet. Plus, they will be in possession of De La Rue machines, which are also connected to the internet, in our case the CBI, whose computer server farm is in Texas. They can verify and validate the currency on the spot. From Intel Guru Frank 26, Iraq Boots on the Ground report, from Firefly. The other day, Alaq did say we might go back to 1166. Before that, he said they will not change the rate. Then today, he says I didn't say I wasn't going to change the rate. The reality is, the CBI doesn't want anybody buying dinars anymore. From Newshound Guru Sandy Ingram, the IRS don't deal in who said, he said, she said. You will legally be responsible for all and any capital gains taxes. From Intel Newshound Guru MarkZ. Question: tomorrow is the equivalent of our July 4th in Iraq, isn't it? So could the 3-day weekend be referring to Iraq and not us? From MarkZ, yes, it's National Day. National Day is an eternal station for the renewal of the Pledge of Sovereignty and Unity. It is similar to our July 4th. A lot of people are pointing towards it, and a great day to celebrate. I stopped looking at specific dates for the RV to stay off of the roller coaster, but it would be a great day to do it. Before ending with the last updates, the hashtag keyword for the 100 Dogecoin giveaway is Constitution. Comment below if you think we are close to the revaluation or the reinstatement of the dinar. You can be the lucky winner if you like, subscribe, and watch the main content of this video. This will be for this coming Sunday's giveaway, and the winner will be announced in one of the Sunday's videos, so you do not want to miss it. From Newshound Guru Pimpy. With all these great things happening in Iraq, what always happens that comes up and screws everything up? It's the elections. From Newshound Guru Clare. Article: Al-Sudani. I seek to form the next government, and my coalition enjoys popular acceptance. Quote, Al-Sudani indicated that his alliance, the Reconstruction and Development Coalition, enjoys clear popular support, which qualifies it to win the largest number of seats in the elections, stressing his efforts to form the next government so that I can continue implementing the project. And finally, the last update is from Intel Guru Frank 26. This is not a LOP. This is the complete opposite definition of a LOP. You think the United States Treasury would have left if you were going to LOP? That the reason why we were there, to stop you from doing stupid things with your currency. Security and stability is stronger in your monetary reform because of the United States of America. All right, now that we've gone through all of today's updates, let me step back and give you my own analysis. And before I do, let me just say this. If you're following the RVRI story and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that button right now. Because when this thing finally breaks, you don't want to be the one catching up after the fact. So here's my take. In my opinion, what we're seeing right now is a convergence of everything Iraq has been building toward, and it's really hard to ignore the momentum. Let's start with the update from Mountain Goat on the Kurdistan oil deal. For years, the IMF has been hammering Iraq with the same requirements: resolve the oil disputes with Erbil, deliver oil consistently through SOMO, and make sure salaries are paid on time. No more delays, no more back-and-forth arguments. And now, with this new agreement, Iraq is finally checking that box. That matters because it's not just about oil, it's about unity. A united Iraq means stability, and stability is the single biggest prerequisite for currency reform. Without it, the IMF never would have greenlit the idea of Iraq returning to the international stage. This deal changes the entire dynamic and paves the way for the Hydrocarbon Law that's been sitting in limbo for years. Then you look at Clare's report about Iraq positioning itself as a regional financial hub. That article didn't mince words. Iraq has the geography, the resources, and the projects, like the Al-Faw port, to become a financial powerhouse in the Middle East. But the warning was clear. Today's Middle East doesn't wait for the hesitant. If Iraq drags its feet on reforms, it risks getting left behind while Saudi Arabia and the UAE continue to race ahead. And here's the key. You can't be a regional financial center with a currency locked at 1310 and excluded from global markets. You need a tradable, credible, and convertible currency. That's why this article is so significant. It's not just describing potential, it's signaling that Iraq has no choice but to accelerate its monetary reform. Now, let's talk about the CBI. Frank 26 highlighted the mixed messages coming from Alaq. One day saying no rate change, another day clarifying he didn't exactly say that. That's not random, that's strategy. Central banks around the world do this before a major move. They downplay speculation to avoid a run on the currency while quietly laying the groundwork behind the scenes. And when you pair that with Frank's note about Iraq beginning to see non-oil revenues, you realize what's happening. Iraq is diversifying, exactly as the IMF demanded, so it's not solely reliant on oil. That diversification strengthens the case for a sustainable exchange rate, not just a short-term adjustment. Add to that the point Pimpy raised about reserves, over $100 billion, strong enough to defend whatever rate they choose, and it's clear Iraq has the financial backbone to support a stronger dinar. Healthy reserves don't trigger an RV by themselves, but they make it possible to sustain one once it happens. That's a huge deal because if the CBI couldn't defend the dinar, a revaluation would collapse within weeks. And then there's the political piece. MarkZ nailed it when he said that if Sudani wants to be remembered, he has to get this done before his term ends. That's his legacy. He cannot afford to walk away without delivering purchasing power back to the Iraqi people. Politically, this is his moment to tie his re-election campaign to the dinar's restoration. Economically, Iraq has already met the key conditions. Reduce currency in circulation from 183 trillion down to near 100 trillion. WTO files completed, Oliver Wyman reforms pushing banks toward compliance, and the oil agreement finally locked in. On top of that, let's not forget the feasibility study Iraq did back in 2012 to 2013. At that time, the real effective exchange rate supported a value well above $1, closer to 120 cents, and that was before Iraq expanded its trade corridors, built out the Al-Faw port, grew its gas and mineral exports, and accumulated over $100 billion in reserves. If the math supported 120 then, today the fundamentals are even stronger. That tells me the value is there. They just need to flip the switch when the timing aligns. Now, I also want to address something that gets thrown around a lot. The idea that Iraq is on some U.S. currency manipulation watch list. I went back and checked the Treasury reports, and the facts don't support that claim. The monitoring list includes countries like China, Japan, Korea, and Switzerland. Iraq isn't on it. What's true is that some Iraqi banks have been restricted from dollar auctions due to money laundering and compliance issues, but that's not the same as Iraq's currency being flagged. In other words, the banks are being monitored, not the currency itself. That distinction matters because it means there's no official U.S. barrier preventing Iraq from moving forward with a revaluation or reinstatement. So when you take all of this together, unity on oil, urgency to become a regional hub, a central bank playing defense while quietly preparing rock-solid reserves, and Sudani's political clock running out, it paints a clear picture. Iraq is not years away like some skeptics claim. They are closer than ever, and in my opinion, this window between now and the end of Sudani's term is the most critical one we've seen. And that's my final take on these updates. Furthermore, we posted a breaking analysis the other day. Iraq just made a major move toward joining the World Trade Organization by completing comprehensive technical responses, an essential step that signals a shift toward full international integration. While this might seem like a routine headline, it's actually one of the strongest signs that Iraq could be preparing to move off the program rate and take the dinar global. In this video, I broke down how this development ties directly into the RVRI process, how it connects with IMF Article 8 compliance, and why this moment could indicate the beginning of the end for the 1300 rate. If you've been watching for the clues and waiting for confirmation that Iraq is ready, this is the update you don't want to overlook. Most people will miss the significance until it's too late. Lastly, we will continue to post videos about the recent events and articles supporting the changes taking place in Iraq, so you don't want to miss them. Also, don't forget, please drop a comment below with hashtag and the keyword and let us know what you think. If you like this content and like to support this channel, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you get notified when new videos are uploaded. See you on the next one.